Whosoever has a mic working can start with the session.
Yes, Priya, Divyansh.
Okay, Divyansh. Have you sent your profile?
Yes, I have sent it.
Okay, it's over here. Got it. Cool, Divyansh. It's a fine profile. I see that you have started in October, but there's a big gap in the contests you give. So why are you not consistent? So that's the first question I have.
Actually, I was doing earlier Code Chef and I was not good doing Code Forces. That's why now I have shifted to Code Forces.
Okay,
And currently, I was having my university exams. So,
cool, no problem. So, how long has it been you have been practicing over here? Let's look at your chart. So, yeah, the chart looks consistent. So, let's say you started in November. You started in November. The graph looks fine to me. You are gradually growing. So, if you see the ups and the lows, right? So, the ups and the lows collectively are growing from this period to this period. So, that's not a problem. But the thing is, I guess you are always able to solve A and mostly B also, but you're not able to solve C, right?
हाँ हाँ दो हो जाते हैं बट तीन में सी में प्रॉब्लम आता है.
Okay, cool, got it. So let's see. Let's see where you're lacking. Yeah, so here is where you're lacking. So A and B mostly would be done by 1200 level, right? That's what you have practiced the most. What you need to practice is this level 1600, 1500, 1400. So 1400 to 1600 is the level you need to practice. Now I see some discontinuity over here. So did you specifically pick 1200 to practice?
हाँ 1200 किया था फिर उसके बाद 400 पे मैं चला गया था.
1400 you mean, right?
हम्म.
Okay.
अभी मैं 1400 कर रहा हूँ.
So bro, what I'll advise is that if you're doing 1400, so mostly you'll see that the C problem is actually coming from 1500, 1600, right? So that's a level up from that. Although you're practicing in the right direction, what I'll say is that like there's a big discontinuity, right? So you gave a lot of attempts over here, but there's a pretty good kind of a discontinuity over here. So what would happen because of this is that in the A and B problem itself, it will take you more time than others. So let's say other people are solving it in 5 minutes, you might be taking like half an hour for it. So because of that, also your rank would dump. Getting my point? So focus on this level 1400 to 1600, but meanwhile also try to do a single. So like maybe you did one questions from all of these, right? One question from 1400, one from 1500, one from 1600. Let's say. After that, try to do a single question from any one of these. Cool. So three from this and then one from this set. What like how it would help is that the discontinuity would be less, and because of that you'll be spending much less time on A and B as well, and you'll be able to devote much time to problem C in the rail contests. That makes sense.
ओके भैया.
Any other doubts Divansh you have?
हाँ भैया एक चीज और मतलब जैसे प्रॉब्लम सी जो होता है जब मैं उसके मतलब एडिटोरियल देखता हूँ तो मतलब मुझे अप्रोच तो समझ में आ जाता है मतलब पर उसका पूरा समझ में नहीं आता कि मतलब उसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करना बस थोड़ा उसमें प्रॉब्लम आता है. मतलब अप्रोच तो समझ में आ जाती है कि हाँ थोड़ा इसको ऐसे करना है मतलब जब आप एडिटोरियल को समझाते हैं तब.
अच्छा, अब चल मान ले
हम्म.
ये वाली प्रॉब्लम देखते हैं तेरी, ठीक है? ये तूने की थी फाइंड एंड रिप्लेस, ठीक है? इसका कोड कहाँ है? फाइंड एंड रिप्लेस का तूने खुद लिखा था, कॉपी किया था?
नहीं नहीं खुद करा ये वाला.
दिस इज योर ओन डूइंग, ठीक है? यार एक ऐसे ज्ञान दे रहा हूँ थोड़ा सा, मतलब देख लियो कि ना इतना बड़ा कोड लिखते हैं, काफ़ी लोग लिखते हैं मतलब, ठीक है? तो इफ़ यू वांट यू कैन कीप इट ओवर हेयर, या फिर स्निपेट्स यूज़ कर लिया करो, थोड़ा कोड क्लीन रहता है, ठीक है? वो खुद को ही देखने में ईजी रहता है, कॉपी पेस्ट भी करना हो कहीं तो काफ़ी आसान रहता है
ये है
मतलब,
यही वाला.
ठीक है? दिस इज़ गुड, ओके। एनीवे, पिछला लास्ट कॉन्टेंस कौन सा दिया था तूने?
लास्ट मैंने दिया नहीं था बट ये हाँ दो करे थे फिर तीसरा आप सॉल्व करा था आपके से देख के.
860,
हाँ हाँ मतलब ये वाला दिया था.
ओके। तूने दो सॉल्व किए थे और तीसरा, ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ठीक है। सो व्हाट आई से इज कि ये बात ठीक है, और जो तू कह रहा है कि सी वाले में दिक्कत आती है, सो दैट्स बाउंड टू हैपन बिकॉज तेरा लेवल ए बी का है अभी, एंड यू आर ट्राइंग फॉर सी राइट नाउ, राइट? तो अगर ईजी होता तो ऑलरेडी कर रहा होता ना, अभी नहीं हो रहा तो बिकॉज यू नीड सम मोर प्रैक्टिस फॉर दैट, राइट? तो एडिटोरियल जो सेक्शन कोड फोर्स का होता है, लॉट ऑफ पीपल फाइंड दैट टफ, Being honest, a lot of people find that tough, and I think when I also started, I found that tough as well. For that, I can say you can stick to my tutorials or the video lectures we have or the sessions we are having, right? But like let's say you come at that level that you are able to solve A, B, C, and D. Then after that, I will say that okay, also go to that editorial so that you are able to solve more problems. But yeah, for C and D, you can watch my videos and that's perfectly fine. And slowly you'll start building intuition for that. But practice is the most important thing you can do over here, because you already said that you are absolving the things and everything's looks fine to me. So practice is one thing that you need to do, and I already told you how to practice these questions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Cool, bro. Cool. Who's next? Who's next, guys? Red, black, blue. Is your mic working?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's see your profile. Red, black, blue. Okay, so you have been trending in this newbie range, right? That's the problem. So you started in July. You haven't been that consistent because the number of contests aren't that much. Looking at the graph, there are discontinuities in the graph as well on the heat map. Hmm. So you do it for a few days, then you leave it for a few days, then you come back again. Why is that the case?
Like, I don't get the time.
In which year are you in?
I'm in school.
You are
I'm
in school.
preparing for IOI.
Okay, you're preparing for IOI. That's cool. That's cool then. Okay, so if you're in school, so after your school, don't you get sufficient time, and like do you focus more on practice or more on contest? What's the approach you are following?
Um, I'm focusing more on practice and I regularly give contests.
Okay. Okay, so one thing I'll recommend is that what I'm able to see over here is that it's not about DSA that you're not able to do, it's more about the intuition based problems, right? So had it been
Yeah,
like
I find
you
difficulty.
exactly, so the lower difficulty problems or the A and B problems itself, you're having difficulties over there itself. So that would come with practice. And since you are in school already, in which class are you in?
Ninth.
Okay, in ninth class. So it's probable that all the mathematical concepts you already know the basic mathematical concepts that are required over here, but it's more about that you
Yes.
don't have practice of those concepts, right? And because of that, you're not able to analyze that you can use this particular concept in a question or not. Now that is because you are in just ninth standard, and most of the people who would be competing over here, at least from India, are in colleges or who have already passed colleges, right? So there's a big experience gap. The good part is that you have a lot of time now in order to grow. The bad part is that you have less experience, right? So the
Mm.
only thing you can like do to overcome that experience gap is do a lot of practice. There's no other way around it. Also, if you want curated problems for your particular set, so you can go to the C2 ladders, right? I'll ping this link. Right now you must would be at around 900, I guess.
Yes, I was
Okay.
at peak at 1050.
Okay, so see, what you do is you select 1000 over here, right? Okay, red, black, blue. See, okay, so you have solved a lot. Do you actually use this?
No, I use code forces problem set.
Okay, that's great. But still, I'm able to see that you solved a lot of problems that are highly ranked over here. Okay, this is fine.
Yes, I
900 is
solved a
fine.
lot of 800, 900s, and even 1100s and 1200s.
Okay, I don't see 1100s much. Okay, in the bottom there. So basically, this particular set actually contains those problems which have helped people to grow. So the logic behind the C2 ladders is that let's say there are a few people, or like they'll take the set of entire people who are coding on code forces, and then they'll check that okay, if a person A was able to grow from this level to that level, then which are the problems he has practiced, right? And on basis of that, this sheet is created.
Mm.
So I'll advise go through this. 1000 you have already done, 900 you haven't, right? These concepts are also important. Try to do at least make sure that the top 25 are covered, right? These are easy problems and shouldn't take even like an hour or so. So 25 problems are doable. So try to do 25 problems from 900. By 25 I mean the top 25. So it's possible that over here maybe you have like done maybe 10 or 12 top 25 problems. So just 12 or 10
No,
or
no,
12.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Mhm.
I've solved a lot of
No,
900s,
no, no,
around
no. So you didn't get
more
what
than
I'm saying.
60.
No, no, no. I'm not saying you have not solved 60 problems. What I'm saying is that over here in this particular sheet, right, in the top
Yes.
25 list, it's possible. So let's just calculate. So you have solved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8, right? So in the top 25, you have solved 8 problems. Make
Yes.
sense? So that means that 17 problems in the top 25 are remaining. So you just solve those 17 problems from 900, 17 problems from 1000, or not 17, but whatever the remaining problems are over here till 25. I think this would be less. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have a 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. 9 problems you need to solve from 1000, right? And then similarly go for 1100. So I expect that if okay, so 1200 you already have solved a lot. So your graph is actually a bit weird. So you solved for 1000 and then for 1200, right? But anyway, solve
You
for
can
1100. Yeah.
you can check my profile at CFVIZ.
Which?
CFVIZ,
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that. Sure.
Code Forces Visualizer.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yep. Okay, so see, over here for 1100 also you have solved 49 problems, right? For 1200 also you
Yes.
have solved 46 problems. But what I am saying
Yes.
is that if I'm looking at 1000, right, then I'm seeing a lot of problems in the top 25. If I'm looking at 1100, then I'm not seeing that many problems in the top 25, right? And if I'm looking at 1200, then also I'm seeing a lot of problems at 1225. So it's probable that the problems you selected for 1100 were not that great. Getting my point? They definitely were of
Yes.
1100 level, but those were not the problems that other people had solved, and then they were able to transit from this level to the other level. So that's what I'm saying. You're getting my
Yes.
point now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll share this link. I'll just share this link right away. So, Ashish Kumar, you still here? No worries, man. You can just type out if you don't have the courage. No worries about that. Cool. So I've shared this link. Try to solve problems from this, and then it's highly likely that you will find the concept much easier. Because what would happen is that if you're solving these, then it's highly likely that you will be covering the concepts that are required in this particular range, right? So other than
So
that,
if
yeah. Mhm.
so how many prompts should I solve
I already
of
told you,
each
like,
rating?
yeah, so you just need to solve top 25. That would mean like for 1000, I guess there were like 8 problems or 9 problems. For 1100, there would be a
Yes.
lot of problems. So 1100, I guess there would be 22 problems. Yeah, probably.
49 was, oh, sorry.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. So yeah, just go for top 25, solve them here, and then move ahead. So
Okay.
if you're consistent with that, I hope like when we have the next session, I hope you have already solved at least for 1000 or for 1100, or the top 25 are actually green. I hope that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes. Cool.
Anything else?
No.
Cool, Aniket.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
I am able to solve prompts in practice, but I'm not able to solve prompts in contest.
Uh, so there are two things. Like, have you practiced or have you given enough contests so that you can make this claim? Because it could be the case that it was some bad luck or it was not just that homogeneous. It could happen like though two of the contests went bad, right? Or
No,
does it
no,
happen always?
uh, not always. Before like 1 month, I was able to solve consistently all two prompts, but um, I skipped 1 month because my exams were there, and after that, I was not able to solve two. I was just able to solve one, and I would get the idea, but I was not able to code it.
Oh, got it. Cool. So you can try virtual contest then, because it could be the fear, or it could be that kind of a mentality where you know that a clock is running and you are unable to perform, right? So in order to overcome that,
Yes.
you can try for virtual contests. That's the best way to go. Make sense? If you're
Okay.
gonna do that, So the thing would be, if you're doing that, then this kind of a thing won't happen. Like you won't be able to solve the questions from here, but there's a workaround for that as well. So let's say you want to solve this particular question that is not adjacent matrix. Click on this, go over here, go for this contest, and then start a virtual contest for this. Cool.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Anything else, Aniket?
No.
Cool, bro. Okay, Darth Raider, your mic is working.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Let's see your profile. Okay. Okay, so I see a lot of practice, but then you're not getting the results, right? Okay, your
Yes.
heat map is also pretty good. So definitely are doing something wrong. Let's check what you're doing something wrong or where you are lacking. See, visible?
Yeah.
You are able to see what you're doing wrong. If I
Not
look
able
at,
to practice.
yeah, you're not practicing the right set. Although you have like solved like 250 problems almost from A, right? And you have solved like 60 problems from B. But as you go forward, the graph decreases significantly. So you're not practicing the right things, right? So,
Yeah.
mhm,
Actually, the scene was I was able to solve the B part, but
mhm.
A I missed it every time. So I thought let's practice 800 once only. That was the
Okay, so you used to miss A and you were able to do
yeah.
B. This is the first
Some
time I'm hearing this.
yeah.
Like I've heard a lot of time people are not able to solve B, but they're able to solve C because C actually requires some sort of data structure sometimes, and B could be like too very hard on intuition. But this is the first time I'm hearing that people are not able to solve A, but they're able to solve B. Can you give me an example where you're able to solve A, but you are not able to solve B?
Uh,
Let's look at this problem.
I guess it was a month
Mm-hmm.
or two ago.
What?
Month or two ago, it was like a month or two ago where I was able to solve B, but I wasn't able to solve A, or I was able to solve neither of them.
Okay.
So you can see that 1010 binary, all that.
Yeah. So when it's a 1010, is it the case that you have solved A or you have solved B? What should I assume?
Uh, I don't know actually. We have to see that.
Okay, let's see. Over here you solve A, right? Okay, let's pick another example. Over here you solve B. Cool. So we got an example. Okay. So we're okay, you solved this. Why did you miss A? Let's see that. Okay, so the problem statement is big. I won't be doing that, but let's just look at the theory which I coded up. Got it. So GCD problem I can agree. Like it could be the case that you actually missed it. No worries about it. But this was pretty standard, right? You just have to take a GCD. Okay,
Yeah,
I remember this problem. This is a bit high on tuition. It's fine. Okay, so general recommendation is that let's say you have one or two contests where this is happening. Let's say there were like two contests wherein you were not able to perform well for A and you were still able to do B. That doesn't define a good trend, right? Two problems.
yeah,
So looking at your chart wherein you have solved so many contests or you have given so many contests, right? Looking at a single or maybe like a couple of contests is not a good idea. It's not a homogeneous data per se. If this trend is like it's repeating maybe like over tens or 20s of contests, then obviously we'll have to look at it. But if it happens maybe for a single contest or two, it's fine. It's completely fine. Don't worry about it. It has happened to me as well. I get sometimes like I miss the intuition and I get a few wrong answers on even the problem A. So that happens. So don't worry about that much. Right now, what I'm able to see is that your graph is growing, and again, if it follows the periodicity well, then it's gonna come down over here, right? Now the
yeah.
question
I
is
get.
what you can do to avoid that. So even if you solve the problems A and B within time, right, then you'll be able to grow your graph. So I'll say you should stop focusing more on A, rather uh, try to solve more problems that are at least of this level, 1100 beyond, like 1200, 1300. Or if you are like just looking at A and B, then at 1200 up to 1200 and this particular range, like from going from 11,000 to 1200. But then the problem is sometimes B might be a bit tough and it might actually exceed 1200. So in that case, I'll say this is the range you should be targeting, but definitely don't target 800 range if you're doing that.
Uh,
So
I have left that.
yeah,
I have
so
left that.
not even 800, but 800, 900 both
I am
included.
targeting right now 1200 approx, 1200, 1100 range.
So are you able to do
That is a
1200?
sometimes I am able to do, sometimes the editorial helps.
Yeah, that's fine because it's going through the editorial and reading about it. It's a part of the entire process, right? So that's not a thing to worry about. Are you easily able to solve the 1100 problems?
Yeah, yeah. 1100,000 I can, because I am solving at coder also ABCs.
Okay.
So I'm able to solve them also. So A and B are much,
Yeah, got it. Makes
difficult,
sense.
not that. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, so it's fine. Yeah, just focus on this range, right? And soon you'll be able to see results. So that's not a problem. And yeah, your consistency is mind blowing. You have already solved a lot of problems, right? Probably more than me, I guess, on at least code forces. So all the best to you. If you face problems, then always try to ask. And one thing I can tell is that let's say you faced a problem in a particular question, right? So people generally have two mentalities. Either they'll just reach out to people to ask for help, or they'll never reach out to people and they'll avoid that question. The actual thing that you should be doing is that try to give it a few tries, right? At least try once or twice. Try to maybe dry run it and try to understand what's going wrong. If you're not able to understand it, right, just post it on CP routes. I think now we have you know about the bots, right? The bot that is
Yeah, yeah.
already there in the system, right? So the bot would actually help you to. So you just have to like type the message and then just ask the bot to post the route for you, and it will do rest of the stuff on its own. So it's an easy way to do that, right? And the best part is that let's say uh, you read the tutorial, you came up with the approach, but if you post it over here and like for this particular problem, or let's open any problem for that matter, right? So he's discussing the complexity, then a lot of people tend to give their reviews on it, right? So when a lot of people are discussing the same thing, it actually increases the quality of discussion, and you are bound to learn a few more new concepts. So in that manner it actually helps, right?
Okay, understood.
Cool.
Thanks.
Anything else?
No, thanks.
Cool, bro. Okay, Divya. So yeah, your profile is good. Congrats on being a specialist now. You don't practice much that I can see. So let's look at the visualizer. Okay. Yeah, you just need to practice your because what is gonna happen is that okay, give me a second. Yeah, what's gonna happen is that your graph will soon start going down because of this, because you don't have enough of practice. So you came over here, now it's gonna go down. If you don't want that, so you should be having solid fundamentals, right? So solve a few problems from 1400 and then also start solving this particular range that is from 1500 to 1700, right? Or 1600, 1700 is the range you need to target, but also solve a few problems from 1400 because I see there's a clear gap or discontinuity in the graph. This can be harmful in the long run. You can easily keep falling. After coming to 1500 you will fall to 1300 or so. So in order to avoid that, solve a few questions from here and then jump to 1600, 1700. Cool. Anything else you have a doubt in? Divya? Okay, I see your mic is not on mute, but there definitely are some problems. So it's fine. No worries. Okay, Divya is typing. Let's just wait for him. Okay, the problem being in implementation part. Then just do implementation based problems. So let's see how many implementation based problems. You just done 50 implementation based problems, right? As a whole, I think the number of problems you had done is 304, right? So amongst them, there's just 50 implementation problems. Now you'll say that okay, in every problem we need to implement it. Why should I do implementation based problems as such? Because more quantity of implementation is required for them, right? And the more you do a stuff, the more you're gonna learn. So you can like select this particular tag on Codeforce and start doing problems from this. Uchiha, I think Divya had the same doubt. Okay, you get the intuition. Okay, any source for binary search related problems? Binary search related problems were already shared when we had the session on binary search. If you want that, you can take it from here. Give me a second. Yeah, it's over here. So there are a lot and lot of binary search problems. If you want, you can use this and just reshare it over here. Anything else, Divya? Jia, I guess you actually have the same doubts as Divya. So the answer is also gonna be same. Yeah, actually it's required to turn on your mic. You can turn on your mic and speak.
क्या होता है ना, लाइक मैं आइडिया तो जानता हूँ, लाइक कभी कभी ना इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होता है ना, वो डिफिकल्ट होता है, लाइक मैं कर नहीं पाता हूँ, लेकिन आइडिया लॉजिक बना देता हूँ मैं, ये प्रॉब्लम है।
See, if see what happens is that, let's say in a contest itself, if a implementation based problem comes, right, now you'll think that okay, let's look at the scenario that how we are going to solve it and stuff. Then you'll come up with that logic, but you'll not be able to code it up. Versus, let's say now you'll say that okay, I also practice that. But what my assumption is that when you practice, right, even then when you're not able to come up with the solution, you look at the tutorial and code it, right?
हाँ
So that's the problem. See, in a contest, you don't have option of looking at the solution and coding it up. But when you are practicing, you have that option. What would happen is that the first time you're gonna implement it on your own, it definitely is gonna take you a long time. It's definitely gonna be that case because it would be the first time you'll be trying to code a solution on your own or on like on basis of whatever you think. So the first time it's gonna take some time, but gradually the time required would reduce, and that's where
So
actual
look,
growth is gonna happen. Yeah.
so looking to the like other solution or editorial code, is it good or not?
It's fine,
Like
but
after a
yeah,
few
yeah.
hours.
No, it's completely fine. You should be doing that. I'll say rather if you are able to do it on your own also, then also you should be doing that because it's possible that a better implementation or a better approach actually existed, and your knowledge would actually increase by that process. The problem what I'm talking about is that, let's say you look at a problem and it's a DP based problem, you make the solution, then you try to code it up, you're not unable to code it up, then you look at the tutorials and then you actually know that how the code is going. What I am asking you to do is that if because you are doing this continuously and that's the reason you are not able to come up with the implementation on your own, what you should now do
That
is,
is the problem.
yeah, what now you should do is for a week at least, for the coming week, try not to look at the editorial for implementation. Yeah, you can look at the editorial. If you're not able to come up with the logic itself, then go and look at the editorial. But if you're getting in a scenario where you are able to come up with the logic but you're not able to implement it, then don't look at the editorial, try to code it on yourself. Cool. No matter if
And
it
what
takes you
what will
like,
be the expected time?
yeah,
Expected
yeah,
time, like
that's
how
the
much?
thing because it's a specific case. You are having a different case over here. So I'll say there's no expected time for you. Even if it takes like an hour or 2 hours, stick to that. Keep doing it. If it causes a headache, take a small rest and keep doing it, because you'll just keep following this vicious loop. Else, otherwise, you'll keep following this loop that you'll come up with the logics, but you'll never code it up. So in order to avoid that,
That's
put
what
yourself in a scenario. Yeah.
I'm facing the same problem only. Like I know the logic, but it sometimes like it will take 3 to 4 hours to implement.
No
But
worries.
idea come up within a few minutes only for
Yeah. So see.
problem A or B. But
So because of that only, you have now started making this habit that you'll code it up, then you'll try to implement it for a while, and then you'll look at the editorial and do the coding, right? What I'm asking you to do is that at least for this week, stop doing that. So you're not gonna look at the editorial to check for the implementation. Even if it takes you like 4 hours to implement it, go for it, because this is a specific case where you are lacking in a particular scenario, right? So even if it's taking you 4 hours to implement a problem, go for it, do that, because slowly and slowly this time is going to reduce. It might take you 4 hours at first, then the time would reduce to maybe like 1 hour, then maybe 30 minutes, then maybe 10 minutes and so on, right? So that's the way person grows, and that's something you have to do. If you keep following this cycle of looking at the editorials when you're not able to implement it on your own, but you're able to think of the logics, then it would become that vicious cycle and you're not going to get out of it. Make sense?
and sometimes like derivation of any problem. Sometimes like you have to derive on your own. How to come up with that like
You're
idea?
talking about mathematical derivations.
Yeah, yeah. There was question LCM of a comma b then plus GCD of this equals to x.
Mm-hmm.
How to like solve such kind of problems by assuming on our own like
No,
this.
that's intuition. Actually, intuition builds with experience. So that would come with practice.
Okay.
Cool. Cool. So who's next? Okay, yeah, thanks. Mic on कर सकते हैं कर लो भाई. Hocrux, your mic is on mute or you can speak up.
हाँ नमस्ते भैया.
Okay, नमस्ते भैया. क्या हाल है?
बढ़िया भैया.
Okay, Hocrux भाई. Okay, you are going steadily. Your path is going up. That's a good thing. I can see you recently started practicing. Before that, there was huge gaps in your practice. So you started
जी
practicing in
हाँ
mid of.
आपने बोला था कि 1300 का लगाना है क्वेश्चन, तो वही मैंने ट्राई किया था
कब बोला था देखो?
शायद 2 वीक्स अगो.
2 weeks ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago क्या था? आज है 2nd April, right? So 2 weeks ago mid March. Mid March यहाँ पे था तू मतलब, ठीक है?
जी
तो प्रोफाइल तो तेरी ग्रो हुई है उसके बाद. यू आर गोइंग एट द राइट पेस. अब
जी
अब तो इस लेवल पे आ रहा है, तो एक काम कर. लेट्स लुक एट योर प्रोफाइल. कितने क्वेश्चंस किए तूने वो भी देख लेते हैं. Okay, I can clearly see you did this. Okay, so now you need to do two things, right? You are already solving 1300. Now the problems you're gonna solve
जी
are gonna be of 1100, 1200. So this is how you're gonna solve it. Solve one problem of 1400. Cool. Then solve not one, but rather solve two problems of 1400. Then solve a problem either of 1100 or 1200. Make sense?
जी
This is the way you're gonna solve it. Two of these and one of these. So basically you'll solve two 1400, then maybe you solve one 1200, then two 1400, then maybe one 1100, so on and so forth. ठीक है? So you are happy with the growth you are seeing now after solving this?
जी भैया.
Cool. ठीक है ना? तो भाई तू इस हिसाब से let me just, I don't want to make some false claims कि भाई इतना हो जाएगा growth, इतना हो जाएगा, but looking at your graph, if you are
अभी
consistent
मैं
with it,
1400 का एक क्वेश्चन कर रहा था, जिसमें भैया पहला क्वेश्चन है डीपी का निकला, तो फिर डीपी हमें करना पड़ेगा अभी स्टार्टिंग में.
तेरे को डीपी आती है?
मतलब लाइक लीड कोड वाले तो क्वेश्चन हो जाते हैं, लेकिन अभी मतलब इसमें कॉम्पिटिटिव वाले लाइनअप में कुछ अभी डीपी का कोई क्वेश्चन किया नहीं है.
रिकर्जन आती है?
जी जी
वीडियो देखी है डीपी वाली जिसमें सेविंग स्टेट्स की बात हुई थी?
नहीं नहीं, आपके लिए नहीं देखी भैया.
इस सेशन के बाद वीडियो मांग ली मुझसे, यूट्यूब पे अपलोडेड ऑलरेडी. वॉच दैट वीडियो एंड वेन एवर यू सी अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ डीपी in 1400, so that means the question is extremely easy, right? And that's why it's in 1400, because it's of DP also and it's still in 1400. That means it's easy. You have to do that. Make sense?
ओके भैया.
And if you go by the same pace, I guess by August you'll be specialist. ठीक है?
ओके भैया.
Cool.
ठीक है.
People तो हो जाएगा, I guess, in maybe 2-3 contests, maybe 4 contests, if you go at the right pace तो हो जाएगा उतने में. ठीक है?
ओके भैया.
Cool bro.
थैंक यू.
Cool. Okay. Yogaraj.
अच्छा
You want to
प्रणव
ask
भाई
something?
सुनना.
You want to ask something, Yuchiya?
Yeah. I was saying na you got the experience of solving of like 800 and 900 problem. But what do you observe in that problem? Like will be probably like between 1200 and 800. Just implementation or
No.
something else?
So, sorry. So this was okay. So which was your graph? Your we have not reviewed your profile, right?
No, not about profile. I mean, with your experience, you have solved like up to 800 problem, like 12 till. So, what was the like question asked, like preferably, generally?
In I have not solved that many problems from code forces on 800, right? I have not solved. Okay, so let's just. You're talking about my profile, right? I don't practice code forces that much because when I came to code forces, I already had experience with this lead code. Okay, so if you look at my graph, so these 800 are the beginner problems I solved. So these are something, right? But now I mainly focus on these 1700 to 1900 range because my current rating is I guess around 1750, right?
1900.
No, it's 1750. Day before yesterday it was around 1800. Now it's 1750. Yeah. So I practice these problems. But in this particular range, that is from 1800 to 1200, right? You'll be seeing problems that are strictly based on implementation or are based on simple mathematics, right? That those would be the problems that don't require any kind of a DSA per se. So they're not going to be heavy on DSA.
Okay, it's just like greedily thinking and that implementation part.
Yeah, right. Or it could be some simple mathematical formulas that you can observe and then you can go ahead with that.
Okay, okay.
Cool, bro. Okay, who's next? Okay, Monkey, you had it out, right? Let's review your profile. Monkey Gang, क्या किया है भाई ये? Why?
अरे पिछले 2 टेस्ट बहुत बेकार गए।
हाँ, मेरे भी बेकार ही गए हैं, कोई बात नहीं। अच्छा ठीक है। सो क्या इशू आ रहा है भाई? प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है तू? प्रैक्टिस तो यू आर डूइंग।
बढ़िया कर रहा हूँ, पर दिक्कत यहाँ आ रही है कि जैसे पिछले 2 कॉन्टेस्ट थे
हम्म।
तो उनमें एक भी नहीं हुआ, मतलब एक में एक भी नहीं हुआ, एक में सिर्फ एक हुआ।
क्यों हुआ वैसे?
फिर हाँ, ग्रीडी जो 1300 ग्रीडी होता है ना, जैसे पिछला कॉन्टेस्ट था उसका सी प्रॉब्लम था, लाइक
यार देख
रिमूव।
देख देख यार, समझ रहा हूँ। सुन, मैं पहले क्या बोल रहा हूँ। तेरा एक कंटेस्ट खराब हुआ, कोई बात नहीं है, हो सकता है खराब हो जाए, बड़ी बात नहीं होती यार। कंटेस्ट किसके खराब नहीं होते? रुक, ये देख अच्छा वाला जा रहा होता हूँ ऊपर 1740, फिर भाई एक कंटेस्ट खराब कर दिया। आई गेस इस वाले एक कंटेस्ट ऐसा, ये वाला कंटेस्ट था आई गेस, पता नहीं कौन सा था, मेरे से ढंग से वो भी नहीं हो रहे थे। ए और बी प्रॉब्लम में दिक्कत आने लग गई थी मुझे, पता नहीं क्यों। नहीं, ये वाला तो ठीक था। सम कंटेस्ट, सम ऑफ द अदर कंटेस्ट वाज देयर। तो एक आधा कंटेस्ट खराब हो सकता है, यू डोंट नीड टू टेक दैट सीरियसली। एक आधा कंटेस्ट खराब होना इज फाइन, बट if this trend repeats or if this trend becomes consistent, then it would be a cause of worry. Like let's say today we are having a contest, right? now अगर आज भी तेरा contest खराब हो जाए, कल भी खराब हो जाए, then you'll know कि हाँ भाई खराब हो रहा है कुछ ना कुछ। minor ups and downs would be there, कभी किस्मत भी खराब हो सकती है। you get my point?
हाँ, जो पहले होते थे वो भी नहीं हो रहे, लाइक अभी तो, या फिर कुछ जैसे मैंने प्रूव करे बिना ही इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया, फिर बाद में रॉन्ग आंसर आ रहा है, फिर उसी को उसमें बग फिक्स कर रहा हूँ, पर वो पूरा ही रॉन्ग हो रहा है।
और
लाइक
प्रैक्टिस
मैंने
में क्या हो
मतलब
रहा है? वो तो contest का बता रहा है ना तू, प्रैक्टिस में क्या हो रहा है?
प्रैक्टिस में बेसिकली मैं ग्रीडी प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ अभी, जैसे पिछले क्वेश्चन का थर्ड वाला तो मेरे को मतलब समझ में तो आ गया था ग्रीडी लगेगी, पर फिर उसकी जो मतलब कैसे लेना ग्रीडीली वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। फिर ग्रीडी कर रहा हूँ और एक नंबर थ्योरी, 2 टॉपिक्स में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम आ रही है।
यार नंबर थ्योरी इज एक्सटेंसिवली यूज, तो बहुत अच्छे से कर ले एट दिस लेवल। अभी तेरा एक चीज़ देखना चाहता था मैं, कोड फोर्सेस पे अगर ये देखूँ तेरा, तो 900 के नीचे तो नहीं जाएगा। देख, योर ग्राफ इज फाइन, ठीक है। आई विल से it's kind of the thing that you were going well and then you started decreasing, right? So you kind of got that phobia that I'm now decreasing. There are multiple factors to it. हो सकता है उस दिन नहीं परफॉर्म कर पाया, अच्छी किस्मत नहीं थी। किस्मत तो क्या है, मतलब उस टाइम नहीं हुआ जैसे परफॉर्म बेसिकली, राइट? या प्रॉब्लम हल्के से अलग थे जो तू एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था, या जो तेरे को बहुत अच्छे से आते हैं, या बहुत ही अलग थे तेरे लिए प्रॉब्लम्स। तो दे कुड बी एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स। आई विल से गिव सम टाइम टू इट। बट अगर ये चीज़ कॉन्स्टेंटली रिपीट होने लग जाए एंड देन यू फाइंड कि प्रैक्टिस में भी सेम चीज़ हो रही है तेरे साथ, देन इट्स अ कॉज ऑफ वरी। फिर
मैं
इसको देखना
अभी
पड़ेगा।
मतलब 10-15 दिन से डेवलपमेंट भी कर रहा हूँ, लाइक
क्यों
मैं
कर रहा है?
मतलब पूरे दिन तो डेवलपमेंट करता हूँ बस।
अरे मत
कॉन्टेस्ट
करना। तो
वगैरह
कीप अ सेपरेट टाइम
से
फॉर, नहीं कीप अ सेपरेट टाइम फॉर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग। कीप लाइक आधा घंटा या 1 hour फॉर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग। दैट दिस टाइम यू आर डेडिकेटिंग टू प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, यू आर नॉट गोना डू एनीथिंग एल्स इन दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइम।
ठीक
ठीक
है।
है,
हाँ, ठीक है।
cool. What's the time? 6:56. Bro, could you please review mine? I kept message above. Sure bro. Where's your profile?
हाँ भैया,
हाँ भाई बता।
एक बात और थी।
हम्म
जो वो मैंने आपको बताया था पहले भी, टीएलई बोर्ड्स की जो कमांड थी
हम्म।
उससे भी रिव्यू करोगे तो आप ज़्यादा
यार वो
बेटर होगा।
मैंने सोचा था आज बट तू था नहीं तब इस पे कॉल पे। सो इनिशियली
हाँ
यू वर नॉट इन दिस कॉल, राइट? तो अगर तू होता तो पहले वही कर लेते, बट एनीवे नो प्रॉब्लम। विल like definitely get on a call for TLE bot. I was also trying कि वो TLE bot की कुछ better functionalities बना के अपने वाले bot में डाल दें, right? So I'll try that as well. So if you're able to do that, so that would be best. But करते हैं इसको, कल डिस्कस करते हैं, परसों डिस्कस करते हैं, and maybe in the next profile review session we'll use that bot itself. Cool. ठीक है भाई, monkey. Okay, he's typing now. Okay, Rahul. I hope you become a specialist today. Okay, I don't know what happened to this. It kind of hanged. Okay. So I hope you become a specialist today. Is your mic working, Rahul? Oh, I can't unmute. No worries, cool. You have already written it out. Because the sound is no worries, bro. I have two questions, then so I can okay. How can I solve C consistently contest? Do I need to learn a topic related? Okay. Okay. So see, I already saw a few problems you were asking in CP doubts. Looking at those, I'll say that your concepts are fine, right? So that shouldn't be a problem. But if you're specifically asked for C, then C mostly is like binary search, greedy, or basic DFS or basic DP, right? So the basic stuffs of the advanced problems, not the advanced, but the medium level problem that is from DP and DFS, those can be asked. So they'll not be asking you graphs or tries or segment trees. Nothing of that sort should be asked in C. But yeah, they'll be asking basic of DP and all the stuff I just mentioned. So those are the problems you can do, but rather than going for specific problems per se, because I feel you'll already be comfortable in this. If you aren't, then let me know. Okay, so if I look at your profile over here, then the problem is, okay, so see, you are at level 63. So let's assume it's around 1400 already, right? So although you are at this level, you haven't performed. So I'll just hope that you code at Code Forces and you code at CodeChef or maybe at LeetCode also, and you have already done the problem from this. If you haven't, then try to spend some problems, try to spend some time on these easier problems as well, or easier tags as well. Then this looks great to me, and I think this is the reason you're able to grow now, because 1500 is actually mostly the C problems, right? So you are practicing the right thing, but the number of questions are still low. So try to practice a few more questions in the from this range. And in order to make your foundation even stronger, you should practice a few questions from 1400 as well. Yeah, Rahul, got it. So yeah, just practice 1400 and 1500. Although your graph looks like you have practiced a lot of problems from 1500, but still there are just 28 problems, because in totality you have not practiced that many problems, right? So I'll say practice a few more problems from this range, 1400 and 1500. And don't try to overshoot it. Like, don't try to have such ambitious goals that okay, you'll keep growing, so let's target more difficult problems. The problem with that approach would be that the growth would definitely be sudden, but then there would be a huge downfall, and that would lead you demotivated. So try to stick in this particular range. This is a good range of 1400 to 1500. So I hope you become 1400 plus today, and after that try to stick within this range, cool, for some while, and meanwhile try to make this foundations even stronger, and try to solve a few more questions from the upward ranges. Make sense? Cool, bro. Cool. Anyone else? Creed is over here. Hi, candidate master. So Creed became a candidate master. I already told him not to like make his profile worse, but yeah, he gave a contest and his ratings dropped. So Creed, why are you here? You wanted a profile reviewed or what? मेरा भी profile review कर दो. हाँ भाई सही है. Okay, let's just send your profile. Let's see. Yeah, I just wanted to give some tips to other people. So I think your profile would be a good way to go about it. Can you send your profile over here? Okay. Cool. I think a lot of people have already left, but there's something I wanted other people to know. So this is the profile of Creed. You can see the amount of consistency he has. Compared to him, I have no amount of consistency, because if you look at my profile, the number of contests or the upsolving is pretty low. For an entire year, I was almost a ghost. So the best thing I'll tell is that I know him, and Virendra or Creed actually doesn't know much about these advanced concepts like binary lifting and stuff, or tree routing, but still he's able to reach this candidate master thing. A lot of newbies or a lot of specialists or pupil, or I'll just stick to newbies because that's the lowest level, right? A lot of newbies know about like binary lifting and stuff. Now, even after knowing all of these things, you're not able to implement it in the contest, and you're not able to grow. The reason being, you tried to learn a lot of things, but you don't have the mastery over those concepts. And until you reach a candidate master level or a master level, these concepts are actually not required. So the main thing I want to emphasize is on the fact that you need not practice advanced concepts in order to grow. If you just want to grow in this particular range, there's no need of practicing or mastering such concepts. Stick to the basics, try to get better on them, and gradually grow. Your foundation needs to be good. So if you see his graph over here, he has trended in this particular range of below 1600 in quite some time, and then slowly, because of practice and this awesome amount of dedication, he was able to grow. That is something that would happen with time. Don't try to overrush it, and don't try to practice things that are far beyond your level, and those are not going to help you in the contest itself. Creed, makes sense? Creed, was the message loud and clear to everyone? Just wanted to review your profile because you already become a candidate master, and people can actually learn from that. So that's the reason I opened your profile. No, so yes, so cool, bro. Okay, your profile is remaining. Sorry, bro, if I missed it. Let's look at Iron Man. Okay, so Iron Man, your consistency looks good to me. Let's look at the problems you're solving. Give me a second. Let's go over here. Let's review this. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. But why are you then going down? You're practicing the right things. You're practicing. Okay, it could be just that this 3 contest actually went bad. Probably you're gonna bounce back from here. The problem I see is that you were in this range that is from 1300 to like up to 1400, and still you were not practicing hard enough questions, right? So you should have like you were just practicing this 1200 1300. The current dip you are seeing is short lived. You're gonna bounce back from that low, so it's not like you're gonna stay in this 1000 or 1100 range. You're definitely gonna bounce back. But the bigger picture over here is that you're not practicing the right questions, so you are gonna be stuck in that particular range as you have seen. So this is the range you were at, and if you don't practice, then you are gonna be stuck in this particular range, because you need to practice problems from 1500 and above. You're not even reaching 1400 right now, so you start practicing these questions. The current downfall is temporary. You're gonna bounce back, so that's not a problem per se, but you need to practice these questions. Cool. As soon as you start practicing these questions, you'll see the growth. Make sense? Okay. If anyone else has a doubt, he can let me know, because Haim isn't speaking, so we are gonna close this session now.